Hey guys, and welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today is going to be part 2 of my 2020 classic TBR. Now guys, the whole idea of reading classics on the regular now is just, I don't know who I am half the time because I'm really surprised how much I am loving the classics. And all the classes I hauled in well, talked about in January, I completed all the books on there, and I actually haven't been disappointed by any of them. They were so good, entertaining. They were thought provoking. They were, have a different array. You had, the French classic in there that I really loved. That was the last one I read. But also some Harlem Renaissance era books that surprised me and also gave me a glimpse of that time period. So I want to continue this. So in this series, I have 5 books, and they're British classic as well as Harlem Renaissance classics. So I am going to start off with this particular author who I've read a few of his books, and I have a love-hate relationship for him. But the last book I did read, I loved, and it was one of my favorite books last year. So I was like, we're going to continue with this Charles Dickens situation, and I am going to read The Old Curiosity Shop. Now, don't know a lot as far as anything about this. This is not one of the classes that I've maybe seen a mini series or something from, but I think I put this on my list. I want to say Dee wanted to read this, and I decided to put it on my list as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dee, if you watch this. But this one is it seems like it's gonna be one of those touching stories, but also has that a bit of an adventure in it of survival. So it is a story about a young girl and her alien grandfather who has this shop, and they were unable to pay their debt, so they lost it, and they're now in the world of out there struggling and how they're surviving. This is what I got from this. I'm with this. I do feel like I'm gonna enjoy this. Hopefully I'm not disappointed, because he's a hit or miss for me. So, but I will definitely let you know in a reading vlog or along the way. So yeah, the next book I actually saw the miniseries maybe 10 years ago, and I really loved it, but I also felt like I should have read the book. But I'm hoping that because I'm doing it backwards, that I'm not gonna be to have a hard time reading it, because I typically like to read the book first before I see a movie or a British series. But this was like 10 years ago, probably more than that. So, but I'm gonna go there. So this is Weiss and Daughter by Elizabeth Gaskell. Now, this will be my second book from this author. My first book was North and South, and I remember that book. I remember how much I loved that book. It is one of my favorite classics of all time. So I'm gonna say that this is gonna be the same way, because I did like the movie series, that I'm gonna like this. But a book is always better than the show, so I'm hoping that's the feel I get for this. But this was, from what I remember, it is a young girl, her father, living with her father, and her father has a new wife, and that wife also has a daughter, and basically things are happening where this stepmom issue, and that daughter has a little scandalous behavior. That's what I remember. But I do remember I really like the main character, and her growth, and things that she was going through, and there's a bit of a romance in this as well. So I know I'm gonna have a good time with this. So yeah, I'm here for this. Now the other books now are Harlem Renaissance books, and the first one is Romance in Marcel, and this is from Claude McCain. Now guys, who knew this is a Jamaican author? He is well known in the Harlem Renaissance era, and this book is, I believe, it's the first time this book has ever been published, which I'm gonna do more research to find out what's the deal with this book as far as that, but that's how it's advertised. But this book, guys, when I found out he's from Clarendon, I said, what? So the thing about this book, when I was reading the back of it, which is giving me a whole lot, it's dealing with a character who has a disability, and was mistreated, but it also seemed like it has a lot of different characters from different background. It's, you know, different race. It's, you know, said African, European, Caribbean, American. So for a short book, I'm trying to, you know, take it as this is going to be probably an easy one to get into, because it's going to look, it seems like there's a lot going on in this story. But I would definitely let you know. I definitely let you know, and he better bring it. You know, my Jamaican authors better bring it. Now, the next book is from an author that I've read several of his poems, several, and I'm well known. He's well known. I know pretty much about it, but I've never read a novel by him. So I decided to pick up his actual debut novel, which is Not Without Laughter by Langston Hughes. So guys, yeah, this one is probably going to be a little bit gripping, because it's a coming of age story of a young boy and his family. So, and you know, written in, I believe, 1930. I mean, published in 1930. So, you know, that era is probably going to be a little testy. And it took place in Kansas. Yeah. That's what I'm getting from this. Yeah. So, definitely going to get into this. I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it, because, you know, this man is the ish when it comes to poetry. So, I love poets who write, because a lot of times their writing style is just so good. And it really grabbed me. So, I'm hoping I'm getting the vibe from this. And then the next book is called Cain from Jean Tomer. Now guys, Maya Angelou blurbed this, so it better be good. But this is what's considered an experiment when it came out, because it combined poetry and traditional writing style throughout it. And it's so true, because I flipped through it and you can definitely see some poetry a lot in this, but it doesn't really give you a much of what the story is about, and this is probably one of those that don't, back then when they used to have books that really didn't have a plot. It was just, you know, they had ideas and summed it up. But for, you know, Maya Angelou loved this. So I am definitely going to go and dive into this and enjoy the beauty and the poetry and everything about this Harlem Renaissance classic. So yeah, so guys, that is it right now. I am hoping for the next couple of months, next couple of months, that I can definitely dig into these and review them and get you guys to read more classic, because they're good, guys. They are good. I am so like happy that I am really exploring that era of the Harlem Renaissance era, as far as, and then even the 1800s era, of these classic books that are very entertaining and also thought-provoking at the same time. So yes guys, yeah, I'm gonna end this right here. And if you have read any of these, I mean, don't give it away, but just let me know, you know, if you like them, or if you're curious of, if you want to buddy read any of these with me, let me know as well. I think that would be fun, especially, you know, the chunky ones. And yeah, so we're gonna leave this video right here, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.